This video is titled Warfighters Operators. This video covers using the Warfighters module to add operators to a model and using the crew property to assign operators to tasks. To begin with, we'll go ahead and version our model by saving a new version. So we're going to copy our previous version and then paste it. I must have hit new mission. There we go. All right, and now we'll go into this new mission and we're going to go ahead and mark down in our description what is new for this particular model. So the Warfighters module enables you to create individual operators which will perform the tasks in your task network. This feature will also allow you to explore the impacts of varying your task allocations to different team members and to create backup or contingency assignments for when team members become overloaded. And note that these operators can either be human or automated. Thus, this feature also enables you to explore the impact of automating portions of your task. To navigate to the Warfighters module in your analysis tree, go to the upper left-hand portion of the screen and expand the Warfighters portion here. When you do that, you will then see that there are operators, maintainers, and supply and support personnel. Since this is an operations model, we're only going to be using the operators portion. And when you expand the operators module, you'll see that this reveals a single default operator. For models that contain only one operator, you don't have to create any more operators. However, I like to create an automated system operator in order to assign the system level tasks, even when I only have one human operator in the system. So to create a new operator, right-click on Operators and select New Operator. This opens the Add Operator dialog box. Go ahead and change the operator name to one that is more descriptive. In my case, I will type in System. And then in order to actually add, you'll see that right now this OK is grayed out. In order actually to add this particular operator, you need to click somewhere in this table here, where it says placeholder. And now you can say OK. Now that I've done that, you can see up here underneath that default operator, I have another operator called System. To open the dialog box for this new operator, double-click on the word System. This opens up a tab here. Here's another place that I can update the name. I can also designate whether the operator is automated. And I will go ahead and say true because this is the system. When I do that, you'll see that certain features below were grayed out. I'll go ahead and switch it back to false for a second so we can look at that. We've got the specialties, which right now only have the placeholders. We've got workload management and performance shaping factors. And I will go over these two items, workload management and performance shaping factors, in future videos. So now I'll go ahead and change this automated system to being true automated. And these items are grayed out because automated systems do not experience workload or have performance shaping factors. So in our model, we currently only have one operator, which is that default operator. However, I'd also like to add another operator called a companion for future use of the model. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. Create a new operator and call him companion. Go ahead and click in there so I can hit OK. I also want to update this, but I don't want it to just say operator. So I can double click on the default operator and you can see that we can edit the default operator as well, including changing the name. So I'm going to change the name from operator to customer. You can technically also set that default operator to be automated if you wanted to, but we're going to leave it at false since this is a human operator. And we'll look at our companion real quick. We'll see that one is also false right now. Going back in here, we can also update the specialty of the operator. Now the specialty refers to the career field. This feature is primarily used by modelers who are using the Army Military Civilian Cost System to estimate cost. So if you do establish a specialty, you can use that in conjunction with the Specialty Utilization Report, which will provide you the information that you need to enter into the Army Military Civilian Cost System in order to produce the cost estimates for your model. Of course, right now, when you select the specialty dropdown, all we see is the placeholders. Of course, if you're not using the Army Military Civilian Cost System, or you're not modeling military personnel with career fields, then that placeholder is sufficient. If you'd like to use the specialty features, double-click on the Warfighters module in the analysis tree, and this will open the Warfighters tab, and you'll see the Selected Specialties tab is currently set. We can click down below in the right-hand corner to select specialty, and we now get a list of all of the specialties that are available. So we can scroll through and see quite a few are available. If you are familiar with military ranks, you'll notice that these are enlisted ranks. We can pick our human resources specialist and use this right arrow to move it over to selected specialties. We also can change the agency, so we don't have to stick to Army. We can switch to Air Force if we like, and maybe add a load master. Also enlisted ranks available here. When you're done adding your specialties, you can hit OK, and then you'll see that any of the specialties, including multiple agencies, will be listed in your available specialties. We can now return to that customer tab, and when I select the drop-down, in addition to the placeholder, I now see any of the other selected specialties. If I select one of those specialties, I can then also set the rank, the enlisted rank that that person is going to have. So using that information, we can then get to using our model to calculate the hours or time spent for each of these specialties at certain ranks and eventually get to cost data. However, since we're not using that specialties utilization report, I'm going to go ahead and set my customer back to the placeholder. I'm also going to go ahead and keep that workload management section and the performance shaping section to its default blank values for now. These particular features are not used unless you specifically turn them on in the execution settings when you run your model. All right, the next step is to assign your operators to tasks. So we'll go back to the task network, and you'll notice that when you come back to the task network, if we have any of our operators selected, like the customer, then their properties window off on the right actually displays the values for that customer. So we can see that the customer is not automated and the system is automated, what their specialty is, and if there's any particular information regarding those workload management or performance shaping factors. So this is another location in addition to their tabs that you can use to update the properties of those particular operators. We now want to assign operators to tasks, and we can also do that in the same way that we assign properties to warfighters. So in this case, we're going to pick a task. We'll pick this insert ATM since that's a task that the human performs. And when we do that, we open up its tab and we can go to the crew tab. And here you can see that the customer, which is our default operator, is set as the primary. You can change that to be the companion if you like. When you do that, you'll see that the customer is no longer the primary because you can only have one primary in Imprint, so it'll automatically change that. However, you can have contingency operators. You can have multiple contingency operators. And these are used specifically for particular workload strategies, the reassignment strategy. So you would use those later if you need to. Right now, we're just going to assign our customer as the primary operator. I'm going to go back to the network diagram, and now that I have a task selected, you can see over here that in the properties window, I'm actually going to close a few of these so that we're really looking at just the relevant information here. There is a crew tab, which is G, and it shows who that primary operator is. And so we can use these properties as another way to update. So if I go to validate ATM, this is a system level task, so I can actually change that primary from the customer to the system. All of our tasks will default to the primary operator, so all those blue tasks are already set to customer. I'm now going to go through and update all of our plum tasks so that they are the system. So we now have all the system level tasks, including model start and model end. We now have all the system level tasks assigned to the system and all the human tasks assigned to the customer. Currently, our companion is not assisting in any way. Note that this particular properties window only allows you to assign the primary operator, and there's no opportunity to assign those contingency operators. So if you do need to assign contingency operators, you're going to have to actually go into those individual tasks and go into that crew tab. So in this video, we created operators using the Warfighters module. We discovered how to set operators as automated, how to set career specialties for the human operators, and then we assigned our specific operators to each task node within the model.